The NBA is going to look a lot different compared to last season after all the signings and trades that occurred in this past offseason. Lots of superstars changed teams, but let's make things even crazier, and I mean really crazy, and move even more players in some really interesting trades. So let's go over 5 blockbuster midseason trades that would shock the NBA and create havoc across the league. And very quickly before we get into it, I just want to give a quick shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets, and using the app, you can see which ticket is a good deal which has a green dot, or a bad deal which has a red dot for any sporting event or concert. It's an easy to navigate app, and it's a must-have for anyone who's interested in attending an event. Use my discount code THETBALL to get $20 off your first purchase when you first sign up for an account, and I'll leave a link to the site where you can sign up, or you can also download the app on your phone as well, and use my code to get the discount there. So for the first trade, I have Bradley Beal to the Los Angeles Lakers. The trade would involve Danny Green, KCP, Kyle Kuzma, Talen Horton-Tucker, the Lakers' 2026 first round pick, and a future second round pick. This is an interesting trade that could happen if Beal makes it known that he won't be re-signing with the Washington Wizards after his contract is up, and that would likely lead to a trade. Beal is a star, and I would say he is almost a superstar, as I think he's somewhere between a star and a superstar, if that makes any sense. He averaged 25.6 points, 5.5 assists, and 5 rebounds per game last year, and he definitely carried the Wizards' offensive load with John Wall out with an Achilles tear. He's only 26 years old, and he fits right in with Anthony Davis and the timeline he's in, and he would be a great fit with the current Lakers as the third star. He would take some of the scoring pressure off of LeBron and Davis, and he's an underrated playmaker that can actually run the offense in spurts. It would hurt the Lakers to get rid of Kuzma, who has looked really good since joining the NBA, and also other assets like Danny Green to make salaries match as well. However, you have to give up assets to get star players like Beal, and I think this would be a good deal for the Lakers if this helps them win the chip next year and Bradley eventually resigns. For the Wizards, this would be a really nice package for Beal. They would be getting a budding star in Kuzma, who has the potential to be a 20-point per game scorer in the future, and they'll also be getting Danny Green, who they can flip to a contender for another first round pick. The 2026 first round pick from LA could become very valuable if Beal and Davis end up leaving, so that would also be a great piece for their rebuild as well. It would be a very interesting deal for both sides, and it could help make the Lakers the favorites to win the chip next year, while the Wizards would have more assets to help with their rebuild. Next up, I have Kevin Love to the Portland Trail Blazers. So the trade will be Hassan Whiteside and a future first round pick to the Cavs for Kevin Love. This is actually one of my favorite trades on this list, as I think it will be a simple swap that would really benefit both teams. For the Blazers, they will be getting a great stretch 4 or 5 who can help take some of the offensive pressure off of Lillard and McCollum. Love will be a great third star, and he could bring a quick scoring punch when he's on the floor. His strong inside-outside offensive game along with Lillard and McCollum could be deadly, and the pick and pops between Love and Lillard could be one of the best offensive plays in the NBA. Defense would be an issue with Love as he is too slow to guard opposing small ball 4s, but he's not athletic enough to guard rim running 5s, but his offensive strengths should outweigh his weaknesses. He would be a great fit to the Blazers offense, and I would love to see him form a big 3 with Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum in Portland. For the Cavs, they will be trading away a star who doesn't fit their rebuilding timeline, and Love also has a lot of years left on his contract. The Cavs would in return be getting an expiring contract, and also a first round pick that could help their rebuild. It isn't much, but it's a nice piece up their rebuild, and the extra cap space freed up for the following offseason can be used to take in more bad contracts for assets or potentially sign some nice vets. Next up, I have Chris Paul to the Miami Heat. So the deal will be Kelly Olynyk, James Johnson, Dion Waiters, and a second round pick to the Thunder for Chris Paul. This will be a great deal for both sides, and we'll first start off with the Heat's perspective. They will be getting rid of some mediocre players on bad contracts, and in exchange getting a star point guard in return. While Paul's contract is horrible as well, at least he fills in a need and he would be a great fit as a starting point guard next to Jimmy Butler. He can play both on and off the ball, and he still has a lot of gas left in the tank on both ends of the floor. He's not as good as he once was, but when healthy, he's a top 10 point guard. The Heat would also be keeping Dragic in the steal, so when Chris Paul needs some days off, Dragic could fill in as a starting point guard. He should help lead the Heat to a pretty deep run in the playoffs, and they would be a really exciting team to watch with Chris Paul running the offense. The Oklahoma City Thunder will be doing this trade to get rid of Chris Paul's large and long contract, and they'll be getting back players who have shorter contract lengths. Also, a second round pick is another asset they can add to their treasure trove of picks, and this will be a pretty good deal for both sides. Next up, I have Devin Booker to the Boston Celtics. So the deal will be Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Romeo Langford, Robert Williams III. The Memphis Grizzlies 2020 first round pick, if not conveyed, it would be a 2021 unprotected first round pick, and the Celtics 2020 first round pick. This could be a deal that goes down if Booker wants out after years of not winning with the Suns, and the Celtics struggle with their new look team. From the Suns' perspective, they would do this deal if Booker demands a trade, and they need to get as many assets as they can for their young star. They would be getting a potential star in Jaylen Brown who can thrive in a bigger role, and they would also be getting some other nice pieces such as Marcus Smart, Romeo Langford, and Robert Williams III. These guys could be used to flip for another potential star, or they can be solid pieces to surround DeAndre Ayton. But the key in this trade will be getting those first round picks. They would be getting the Celtics 2020 first round pick, which shouldn't be anything too great, but the Grizzlies 2020 first round pick should be very nice. It's protected top 6 next year, but in 2021, it's fully unprotected. The Grizzlies are going to be good for a while, so that 2021 first round pick could potentially be a top 5 pick in 2021, and the Suns could use that to draft another potential star as well. The Celtics would do this deal to get a young star that could provide a huge scoring punch next to Kemba Walker, and those two could form one of the best scoring backcourts in the NBA. Booker will be another young star to pair next to Jason Tatum, and those two should lead the Celtics to many winning seasons for years to come. They would definitely be giving up a lot in this deal, but it would be worth it in my opinion for a star like Booker, who could potentially be a superstar with more development and playing for a coach like Brad Stevens. And finally, I have Gordon Hayward to the Detroit Pistons. So the deal will be Andre Drummond to the Celtics for Gordon Hayward and a future first round pick. This will be a very interesting deal that will help the Celtics fill in a big need. The Celtics center position is currently pretty weak with Horford and Baines gone, and Drummond can provide Boston with a great rebounder and a decent rim protector as he's starting center. The Celtics will be giving up Gordon Hayward in this deal, and they will have to attach another pick with him if he continues to play like he did last year. But if he plays like Utah Hayward, this will be a whole different story. If Hayward returns to form, the Celtics wouldn't likely trade him, or they would be getting assets from the Pistons, but let's say in this case that he shows marginal improvement from last year. The Pistons would do this deal to move Drummond, who just doesn't seem to be a great fit on the team anymore, and there have been a lot of trade rumors surrounding Drummond over the past few years. The Pistons will be getting a first round pick in this trade, and they would be getting Hayward, who can fill in at the starting small forward spot. Even if he isn't as good as he once was, he's still a very versatile forward who can handle the ball and shoot the three, and I think he could thrive in a bigger role as a second option behind Blake Griffin with the Pistons. He would be great as a secondary scorer, and I think a big problem last year for Hayward was that too many players were holding the ball and simply looking for their own shots. This regulated Hayward into more of a spot-up shooter role, and he didn't get to utilize his strengths of creating his own shot and just being a very good scorer. With the Pistons, he would be getting the opportunity to be one of the top scorers on the team again, and I think he would thrive in a bigger role that is much more suited for him. I could see him averaging around 18 to 20 points per game behind Griffin, and he would definitely take some of the offensive pressure off of Griffin and some of the other players as well. I would love to see Hayward on the Pistons, and I think a change of scenery is necessary for him to thrive once again. I think this would be a pretty even deal for both sides, and we'll see if something like this happens next season. So that's a wrap. Thank you all for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more daily NBA content just like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and also be sure to turn on post notifications so you can stay updated on when this video will be coming out. Also follow me on Instagram and hit me up if you want to talk about basketball, business, or have any video ideas you want me to do. Let me know, as I do try to back to you guys there. Drop a comment down below on what was your favorite trade from this list, or do you have any other ideas that could happen mid-season? Let me know down in the comments below. As I do read all comments, I'm definitely interested to see what you guys have to say. So with all that being said, once again, thank you all for watching, and hopefully I will see you guys soon for the next video. Peace.